BD Protections.
So I'll move it.
Why is the dog in here?
Because people on TikTok told me that I need to spend more time with my dogs. So Ray is at my feet.
You need to spend more time with our dogs. This is now encroaching on my time.
Well, they don't think I spend enough time with our dogs, so you know what that means.
Can she at least put her head on the camera so that people can see her and it not be like a little blob?
Oh, look at
hello, Shelby.
She's so beautiful.
Not supposed to be in here on the couch. Not supposed to be on any couches. That she finds the most obscure couch in the whole house and jumps on it.
She's old.
Also, I want to let you know this is where she poos and pees, which she can't pee in the kids' room.
She's old. She's having difficulties.
You're old. Do you piss and poop on?
Not that I would tell you. Like if I was having that problem.
Not that you would tell me. What do you mean? Not that you would tell me. Ridiculous.
You know, the older we get, we may eventually end up.
You gonna change my diapers one day?
I'll pay somebody to.
You wouldn't change my diapers?
Next question.
Wow. Welcome to Before the Kids Wake Up. I'm Claude.
And I'm Renee.
Yeah. How's your week going, sweetheart?
It's going really well, actually.
I feel like it's been just nonstop craziness.
It has been, but
Kahlua in my coffee.
But Emily and I successfully crocheted a whole bunch of like lanyards and wristlets last night.
Your friend Emily.
And I'm super excited about them. So yeah, no, it was good. And we had fun last night, right?
Yeah, see, there's nothing crazier when your wife gets a hobby like crocheting than when your one of your best friend's wives also gets a hobby like crocheting. And then they can act like little grannies together and it's fun.
But at least you know where we're at, right? We're not doing anything bad.
I generally don't have a worry about where you are, ever.
And I've just started spending lunch breaks at Joann Fabric, so it's great.
Have you really?
Yeah. I even sent text to Emily saying, "Hey, I'm going to Joann's today. What do you need?" And she was so funny. She said, "I couldn't think of anything I needed." I said, "Well, I didn't need anything either. I was just going to go wander the store and see what spoke to me." And then I came home with 4 new things of yarn that I don't know what I'm going to do with.
For someone who's afraid of getting old, you're like, just like, screw it. I'm just going to dive in head first and just start adding like grandma.
But does it count that I'm crocheting? I'm not crocheting like sweaters and old stuff. It's, like wristlets and lanyards and bathing suit covers and a blanket. Like,
whatever happened to the bathing suit cover?
I have it, but you haven't taken me to a pool.
You gonna wear it this year?
Yeah.
It's Florida. It's summer. It's
yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Nothing like putting on a nice woolen knitted coverall in the hot Florida sun.
It's not wool though. It's I don't know, but it's specific for the water.
Is yarn not made out of wool?
It is, but it's not. I don't know. This is like a really smooth material, and it's specific so it can get wet.
I'm really glad though that you went ahead and crocheted yourself a summertime like thing for you, because my hat and scarf, I'm going to get a whole lot of use out of those in like 12 months.
But that's what you requested.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't have to put me out like that. I did request it.
What kind of summertime male thing can I crochet?
Can you crochet me like some underwear or something?
That wouldn't even be comfortable.
You said that they're made for water and moisture.
I can't.
Anyhow.
I can't.
Oh,
I can make you a headband.
What kind of headband? Like for my hair?
Sure. I've made Olivia like 3 headbands. So
Olivia has like long, curly, beautiful hair.
Maybe you should grow yours out so you can wear a headband that I make you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anywho, what's next on the agenda? What do you have?
So I just thought that we would dive into our last therapy session and conflict resolution and we always talk about speaking different languages.
Yeah.
And go ahead. You can go ahead and if you want to lead off about kind of the discussion that we had in regards to disagreeing with each other, while we're having these conversations, because I think it's important, and I think it doesn't go to just married couples. Mm-hmm. It goes to family relationships with families, relationship with children, even relationships with friends that you've had for a long time, I think.
Well, I mean, the thing is you and I, we talk about this a lot on the show. We really do speak different languages,
mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's super hard to meet in the middle, because we're saying oftentimes the same thing, but it comes off. For me, at least, it comes off. I cannot stand when you come off like you're treating me like one of the children, like I'm getting like nagged at, or there's this negativity, and I'm a type of person. I think of myself as an empathic person, right? My mom always said I had the gift of discernment. If you know anything about the Bible, that's we're not a religious show, but that's just a gift where you can kind of sense people's intentions or their feelings or just get vibe. People call it nowadays. They call it people's vibes, right? So when I feel like I'm getting the vibes from you that are negative or nagging or upset or whatnot, I don't care if you say I'm not unhappy or I'm not mad at you. I'm fine. I'm going to read it still as you being upset or there being something wrong with you, especially since you are really bad with body language and facial expressions. You're like, I'm not mad at you. I'm like, well, your face and your tone is telling me otherwise. So I'm a little bit confused here, and my general being is not believing you say you're not mad at me. And my thing that I work on is, trying not to match your energy.
Well,
were you allergic to that comment?
No.
Go ahead.
Well, no, but the thing is that part of me and part of the issues that I have is that sometimes I am upset and I don't know why I'm upset. Yeah. So I'm not necessarily mad at you. I have, as I talked to Olivia about, right, I have big feelings. I have big feelings about whatever has just occurred. They're not necessarily logical, and I'm trying to work them out in my head. So no, I'm not mad at you, but I'm trying to...
That's how she says it. Yeah. That's literally how she... I'm not mad at you.
But... I have to work it out, and you have to admit, right, when you let me work it out, when you walk away or I walk away, and normally 20 minutes later I've come down, now I've processed it, and like, oh, I really don't know why I was mad about that, but I'm fine. Nothing's mad. Everything's fine. We're good. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you do deserve for me to just be angry with you, though.
Well, and walking away is hard, though, right?
It's really hard because you want to fix it.
I want to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Because I shut down and you try to fix it, and somehow God thought this would be funny.
This would be a funny relationship together. Let's pair two people with serious traumatic trauma from their childhoods, raising children, and also dealing with each other's little neuroses back and forth there. But no, yeah, like I said, I try hard to not to match your energy, right?
Yeah.
And one of the techniques that Troy has said is that I'm supposed to just say, okay, I either don't agree or agree with you. I love you, and just walk away. and in my head, I'm like, oh, that seems like a very novel idea.
Well, and it wasn't even just like agree or not agree, right? It was, I know this isn't necessarily how you feel, right? Like really how you feel, and I'm gonna walk away, and I love you, and really too, because I have attachment issues, or abandonment issues, and so for me, I do shut down, but equally sometimes like that walking away, I can feel sometimes a little rejected, abandoned really. And so that's why, having that of, hey, I love you. I'm just going to walk away.
I mean, you're probably going to go bleep you, and when I record this, it's hard sometimes because I think, in the moment it's difficult to recall your therapy training or your things you learn in therapy. Mm-hmm. And so it really does take a lot of tenacity and like mental brain power to be like, you know what, I'm pissed off. I'm mad as fuck. To bleep that. And I don't want to actually talk to you. I don't want to work through it with you. I really just want to be upset. But if you give me about 15, 20 minutes, we'll be okay. And that's sometimes where it's like you have to have a partner where they're willing to be like, you know what, I'm going to eat crow for like 15, 20 minutes and come back to this. And it's hard, especially for me. Like,
well, we take turns eating crow.
Oh, yeah,
though.
all the time.
That's the only reason why, not the only reason, but I think that's one of the reasons why it works so well with us, because we are both able to take turns doing it. I think when we struggle the most is when we're both in a place that we're both like, no, I'm not eating crow, and you are also not. And then that's when we're just at this kind of checkmate. And if you remember, what was it, a month? This dog just put her whole paw up on that table. remember like a month ago that I don't even know what we were discussing about, and I was just getting mad. I was just really angry. And you said, we have all these therapeutic things that we have learned. And I said, I don't want to use a single one of them right now because I was just so mad. Yeah. Like I didn't. And I think even we talked to our therapist about it in our last therapy session where I told him that. I said, I couldn't do it. I just didn't have the capacity in the moment to even pause and use all of my therapeutic skills.
And that's hard, right? It's you're human. People are human. You're human, and our natural tendency is to be, emotional. Human emotions are volatile. We're one of the only creatures on this planet that can express complex emotions, right? Most animals have just this internal desire for food and reproduction. And we have that too. Trust me. Never mind. But we always we have that too. But we have the ability to feel complex emotions, but we also do have the ability for complex thought.
Well, in it comes to as well, or like a big part of this is our jobs, our families, and then us, right? So we have to constantly put each other first, but we also have to have jobs to take care of our family. And we also have two little humans, well, one little one and one almost grown one, that we're also responsible for. And we are responsible for teaching them the healthy ways to deal with things. And we can't go crazy on anybody at work. So by the time we get home and we're sitting down one-on-one, I'm done. I've used all of my skills for my work day and not exploding on anybody. Yeah. The evening of not exploding on the children, and not only not exploding on the children, but talking them down from exploding. Yeah. And then by the time we get to each other, it's like, F this. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do it anymore.
But your partner is basically your punching bag, your stress ball. And
it's not fair.
It's not fair, and it sucks. And I think that's one of the most difficult things about being married with children, right? That's why I tell people all the time: if you're, I tell people it's a couple different things. If you don't want to be married, don't get married. If you don't want to have kids, don't have kids. Understand when you do all that stuff, now you're adding factors to your life that is very difficult to change. I mean, everybody knows you can always get a divorce, you can always give your kids up for adoption. It ain't that serious. For some reason, humans are bred and encoded with this need to couple up and and I was going to say
have a family,
procreate, but have a family. I mean, we're bred to have that. You need, especially people with trauma, because you think that you can go back and fix it and do it right yourself. Yeah. Right? And the thing is that a lot of times it's okay to not get into that because we say it on the show that it complicates your life to the fullest. Having kids, nobody tells you when you have kids that you're going to spend, 3/4 of the time cleaning up after them, and the other 1/4 of the time working your ass off to pay for things for them, then they leave you.
Don't you think? So I feel that that's the advice, though, that you get is you're not going to sleep anymore. You're going to be worried. I think the conversation we don't have enough is about the relationship between the parents and how it changes when you have children. Right. I feel as if we didn't even, right? Until we started therapy, right? We had our breakdown moment where we're going, hey, we need some outside help so that we can have a healthy, stronger relationship. My parents never had that conversation, right? Your mom, it's just not something that's heard of. Absolutely. And now with us and our friends, that's the conversation we have. Yeah. We're not talking about how many diapers or how many sleepless nights. We're saying, hey, make sure you have your date nights. Hey, make sure you have your open communication. Being able to stay calm when your child is having a breakdown is important. And equally, you don't have to scream at your child to get their attention. Right. Nobody's going to judge you for just being calm and letting them work through their big feelings.
Also, nobody's going to judge you for screaming at your kids, too. Because
right.
Kids, I mean, there's times, I love the gentle parenting method. It's a little bit hilarious because as a human adult who literally supplements the income of little people, it's difficult when you tell them to do something and they tell you no, or they just are super stubborn, and you realize, do you not understand that every aspect of your life is because of me? Mm-hmm.
But the whole premise though of gentle, the whole premise though, right, of gentle parenting is it's not about the child. It's about what you're triggered by. Right. It's you teaching your child. It's not okay to scream and yell. It's not okay. You can have big feelings, but how are we going to properly deal with those big feelings? Yeah. And we notice, because we struggle with a child that has ADHD, has a lot of big feelings often, of us having to take deep breaths. And tag each other in and out because sometimes it's so big and you really have to
She's
weed
just
her
trying
out.
to copy you because you're like doing all this with your hands, and so she's like, "Oh, let me do it too."
I can't help it.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot sometimes to do that. But right, the hope is that because we've done the work. And then we're doing the work with her and she does therapy, that by the time she's our age, she'll be in a better place. She's still going to need I think everybody needs therapy. That's just my personal opinion. I think if you're going to get married, you should do therapy. And I think that if you're going to have children, you should 100% do therapy.
Or the kids are going to make you go into therapy.
Yeah, one or the other.
I mean, because it's rough, you know.
But the other thing too that I really wanted to touch on that really talks more to that everybody can kind of relate to is about thinking the worst of each other. Yeah. It's when we're talking and we're having these conversations.
That's where our fights get. Like that's where they
right. So it's me going, hey, did you get up this morning and do the dishes? And you just, well, I didn't have time to. And you're attacking. And really, I'm asking because I'm going to do them if you haven't done them yet. Yeah. And it's not me judging, but automatically you're thinking I'm coming from a place of judgment. And one of the big discussions that we've had is, why do you always think the worst of the person that you love the most?
Right. Well, and I can tell you that's a good conversation. We can dive into that. But I'll tell you, oftentimes I think that you're coming at me because, again, I told you about your tone and your facial features and all this stuff, your body language. It comes off as being negative. But that goes back to the.
But sometimes I'm annoyed about completely unrelated things.
Right.
Yeah.
So in her brain, you know those memes where it's like, I bet my husband's cheating on me, and then the husband's thinking about Star Wars movies and stuff like that. It's truly, it's like, I'm thinking that you're nagging at me about not, excuse me, not contributing enough in the household, or not doing enough to fill your cup and all that stuff. But what you're really saying is that I'm pissed off at work, I'm pissed off at the kids, I'm pissed off at all other things, but this is what's got me physically like this, but I'm just, I'm asking you.
Because I'm trying to support you. Normally in those situations, I'm like, how can I fill your cup, right? I'm aggravated, but I still need to focus on you.
Right. That's why you have to ask that question. But again, it's about having that mental wherewithal to be.
You have to pause.
Pause. That's one thing. We have to first pause, think about it, take a deep breath, whatever you need to do, and say, are you coming at me? Is this something that you're meaning to be negative? Is how it's coming off? Are you meaning to be negative, or is there another reason why you're asking that?
Right. And I think Olivia learned a song, and she should probably teach it to us, and that's what it's about: pausing and then thinking before you react. Yeah. But I think yesterday I was crocheting, and I don't know what you were doing, and you said, "Oh my gosh, did I do something?" Or you look so angry, and I said, I miscounted my stitches and I can't figure out what's going on. It had nothing to do with you.
There's nothing wrong with you. I'm just crazy.
I was just frustrated that what I was crocheting wasn't coming out. So, but I think it's important to note that this comes with your children too, right? Sometimes your children are asking you a question and you're assuming what they're asking you is maybe
especially
coming from a bad, and don't get me wrong, a teenager, they probably are, but don't go there. Try to clarify, repeat it back, right? Yeah. And this can go for family members. It can go because sometimes you just feel as if you know somebody so well that you're just automatically assuming what they're saying and where they're coming from, and maybe they're not, and that could really cause a lot of havoc, I feel like, between any type of a relationship.
Well, and it's you asked the question of why do we always think worse of the people, probably the people that are closest to us. If it was a stranger, you never really know, right? It's kind of like, it's not just the people that it is the strangers too.
And more likely to give a stranger the benefit of the doubt, which is crazy.
Right? And why do you think that is?
Well, because I don't know them enough to try to even understand where, say I know you and I know you're already aggravated from the 5 things that the kids left around the house. So if you're talking to me, I'm just assuming you're probably coming to me.
You think it's a defense mechanism or a trauma response to think that? Because I don't know why. Short of your body language and your tone, I guess a lot of times for me, it could potentially be I'm feeling self-conscious about something. Yeah. And if it's brought up, then I'm a little bit testy about it. When you what I'm saying? Like,
well, we all have our own experiences, right, which is why we view things differently, right? So if I walk into a room in one situation, I may feel completely different about you because maybe you had a prior situation that was similar to whatever you're walking in, and I did too, but you had a good feeling about it and I had a bad feeling. So in other words, I think that we all just wear different lenses.
But I think if you feel some type of way about me asking you about the dishes, and you get upset about it, and you're thinking that I'm coming at you, I think 9 times out of 10, it's because you might feel some type of way about maybe not participating enough in.
Agreed. Because you're already feeling like crap. Right. I told her I was going to do those dishes, and I haven't, and now I'm upset. When really, for the most part, I mean, you do so much. Why would I? So what? You didn't feel like doing the dishes today? It's not a big deal.
And I think for me, when that happens, it's because I do so much. It's not necessarily that I'm self-conscious about what I do. It's my love language is words of affirmation, one of them, and I can't forget what the other one was. If you friends, you know us, put it in the comments what you think my love language is, my other love languages, but it's definitely words of affirmation. And I feel like if I'm not getting affirmed about the things that I'm doing, it's the opposite. I assume that you're I don't know what the
one extreme or the other
affirmation is, but
hate,
whatever. And so, and that really might be what it is. So if your partner or somebody's asking you something or just or commenting on something and you're taking it as a negative, and you have this thought process that they're coming at you, you may feel some type of way about what they're asking you about.
Yeah.
Right? If I go, Renee, what's up with your hair or your hair, and you get upset about it, I know you're going to be you might be upset because there's a lot more grays in there than are red. There is.
We make our hair long. I earned everyone.
You did. A couple of them are mine. So yeah, no, I think that, you have to be able to, like you said, pause and really stop and think about what's being asked of me or the conversation that's happening, or even do that pause, translate, right? If you learn your partner's language and how their communication style, it's a little bit easier to pause and say, hey, all right, wait a minute. I hear what they're saying, but this may not be necessarily what they mean. We communicate differently. Let me try to translate and understand. Or you don't even have to translate. You just simply have to ask, is this what you mean? If I understand you correctly, is this what you mean? And they have that.
Or like you said, are you asking me if I did the dishes because you're upset I didn't do them? Or is there a different reason that you're asking? Just trying to confirm that, to confirm like, okay, should I be on the defense?
And I love how we're using like the dish example too, because we don't wash dishes in our household. That's the boys' job.
That's true. I hate doing dishes, but
I don't mind. We have a dishwasher.
I still hate
Put
doing
them in,
dishes.
load it. It's brand new. Thing's not even a year old yet.
But so the great part of all of this is that, a week and a half-ish ago, we did get into a disagreement, and we won't go over the specifics of it, but basically, I had asked him.
Are you comfortable?
She's about to be.
Is she okay, thank you.
Don't worry about her. So I had asked Claude to do something. He didn't agree, and I just got frustrated and said, okay, fine, never mind. And I just shut down because I was done. So Claude did walk away. He went into the other room. And so I was just sitting there, of course, on my phone, TikToking, because that's what I do. And all of a sudden, he just starts playing songs through Alexa.
There are fun songs, too. It's what was it? Crazy Bee by Buck Cherry. Crazy by Aerosmith. Crazy by
the Sweet But Psycho song.
No, Sweet But Psycho. Crazy by not Gnarls Barkley. I think that's CeeLo Green does Crazy. Yeah. Oh, and then Patsy Cline's Crazy. They were all crazy. That's funny. There was a central theme there, I guess.
But the first one I thought was maybe an accident. And it wasn't until about the third one that I was like, this fool. And it's funny because not only did Claude do it, he decided that he was going to record it. And so... And I was so annoyed. And you can actually even see at one point, Olivia comes in singing one of the songs. I'm like, if you don't get out of here right now. I was still trying to decompress. But after Liv comes in, and that's one of her favorite songs, the Sweet But Psycho song. And she walks by, I'm like, this fool. But it's funny because Claude posted this. And so we've gotten a lot of comments of why would she just not get up and unplug it? And so I have to say why. Because then you would have known that you were getting to me, and I couldn't let you know that you were getting to me.
I mean, I knew I was getting to you anyway because
because of my show.
Alexa, off!
And the funny thing is Alexa doesn't ever listen to me. No. So I have to be aggressive with Alexa. And Alexa doesn't think that I'm me. Alexa thinks I'm Olivia. because she will respond back something, Olivia. And I'm like, but I pay the bills in this house.
It's because you've never calibrated your voice to the Alexa app, but it's okay.
And Olivia has?
Probably.
That's just insane.
Alexa made potpourri the other day.
Shut up.
And I'm not joking. She cut off the bouquet of flowers that we have on the dining room table. She cut them up. She put them in her little Easter ball. She had a little Easter ball, plastic thing.
You said Alexa, but you meant Olivia.
Olivia added a little bit of water to it and sat it in the bathroom. And I walked in and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, that smells nice. But when did she get a knife and start cutting up plants to make potpourri?
Well, I mean, that was after she tried to put crayons in the microwave and melt them.
Well, that was fun. And yes, that was funny because she literally goes, how do I work the microwave? I'm like, whoa. Why? Oh, no reason. My crayons are broken. Wait a minute. Okay. Are you trying to melt these crayons? Yeah, but I want new ones. I go, I'll buy you new ones. But no, but I can make new ones. I go, no, you can't. Not in my house. I go, don't you know that kind of things will burn down a house? She's
you know what she wanted to do, though?
She wanted to melt them down and make new crayons.
No, she wanted to make little cupcakes. She had that little plastic cupcake thing.
No.
That's what she told me. And she wanted to pour them into each one so she could have different color wax cupcakes. That's what she told me.
No way. That's ridiculous.
Especially if she would have put the crayons on top of the plastic thing, it would have all melted.
Then you can always rely on our daughter to do the most in line with what a typical kid would actually try to melt their crayons and make new crayons. No, she wanted to melt the crayons and make little fake cupcakes.
And that wasn't even all she did that day.
What else did she do that day?
She also brought in an entire bucket of dirt into her bedroom.
Yeah. What was that for?
I have no idea.
I oftentimes think that whenever Olivia has her little play dates, or just in general when she's home playing around, we don't even know half the things that she
But the thing is we saw her, and I told Emily the next day, I said, you're never going to guess what we found in Olivia's room. It was a whole bucket of dirt. And she was like, we watched her come in with the bucket. I said, I know. They went out with the bucket.
You watched her come in with the bucket of dirt?
Yeah, but it didn't look like there was anything heavy in it or anything in it. I just thought it was an empty
was this before
bucket.
Or after you guys cashed a couple bottles of Merlot?
No, this was during the week. We hadn't done that.
I love how you go, not today. That wasn't what we did today.
No, that was yesterday. No, but no, so we watched them go in and just thought nothing of it. And so, so last night her and I were laughing because I said, oh no, it was a whole thing of dirt. But yesterday as they were playing outside and Ruby comes running in and she's like, Olivia's thirsty. I need to get her water. I said, okay. So she takes one glass of water outside. Then she comes back in. She's like, now I'm thirsty and I need some water. And I said, suspicious.
Weird.
But okay. So then she goes back out and then she comes back in. She's like, but Olivia spilled it and now I need some more. And I was like, and she laughed. Ruby laughs at this point too. And I was like, suspicious, but okay. By the fourth time she comes in, I was like, she's making mud pies out there, isn't she? And she, they were making mud pies.
She'll be getting a play set for her birthday this year.
That was after her bath too, mind you. So,
oh man. Wow. Wow.
But they were outside playing. They weren't on a TV.
Yeah.
They were having fun. They were safe.
That's kind of winning.
They were being creative.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the mess that we have to clean up, but
it's outside. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Pause here 1 second. I think that we should just do the advice now because that'll take us closer to like 30, 40 or whatever.
Okay. Then we'll do a separate thing with
do a separate thing. We can do a separate thing with reading.
All right.
Yeah. All right. All right, guys. This is the time of the show where we actually like to give you guys a little bit of advice. I like to remind you that we are neither a professional. I went to school for sociology and public administration, and Renee is a criminal justice major. So please do not take our opinion as professional. It is just our experience as being a married couple with children. We can neither qualify our ability to give you advice. We're just going to give it to you because why not? Therapy is expensive. Okay. I gotta find it first. This is where I have to edit it because I didn't send it to myself. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right. So this comes from, I don't know the name of the person, but it's actually a special little thing on Reddit called Am I the A-Hole, right? The parenting edition. So, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for wanting to get... okay, let's start over. All right, guys, this comes from Reddit. Am I the asshole parent edition? And they say, so Reddit, am I the asshole for wanting to keep my bedroom door locked to keep my kid out? Essentially, my child 5 has never slept alone in their own bed despite numerous attempts and efforts over the years. They just simply wake up and waltz right in, sometimes 5 minutes after bedtime, sometimes 5 hours. It's a nightmare to get them back to their own room and usually ends up in an argument with my spouse who simply doesn't care and lets my kid co-sleep. Woo. We have a lock on our door, but I have been told to not use it. I think by having our door locked at night, we can teach our kids some tough love, and I totally expect the first few nights to be terrible, but I'm hoping that by the end of a week or so, my kid would hopefully learn they can't come in anymore. Naturally, my spouse is against this and thinks I'm the asshole for wanting to lock my kid out. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
Did you write this?
I did not write this. But it was, when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is interesting. We got to talk about this.
I don't want to talk about this.
And the reason why I say that is that we're experiencing a similar issue, right? Obviously, our child's a little bit older than 5, but we actually experienced it a little bit too with our older child as well. We have some disagreement about the time in which we did eventually get them to start sleeping in their own bed, but we won't get into that, right? But I'll let you go first this time. What do you think about that?
I see both things, right? I think that it's fine to lock the door. Don't give me that look. It's just that then when they do knock, I don't believe in just leaving them out there to think that they've been left alone and screaming and crying. I think you walk out, address the child, and then you can go do whatever. Put them back in the room or
Who walks out and
whatever.
addresses the child?
You, because I don't.
Because you're not going to do it.
No.
No, you not only will not address the child, you'll get mad at me and say, "Hey, go, like let them in, or go put them back." And I go, I'm not. It's in the middle of the night, so if it's 5 minutes after bedtime, yes, but 5 hours, so it's now like 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
But I'm extremely mean.
You're like a whole different person in the morning. Yeah, you're like, and when it's time to go to bed, sleep time. Renee is a monster.
I'm not nice. Yeah,
awful, different person. I don't even want to.
I don't like to be woke up.
No. But here's the thing. I totally agree. You should lock the door. Absolutely. Lock the door. Now, 5 is a little bit young, but co-sleeping is difficult to get
it's horrible.
a handle of. Like I said, like when our older kid, he did eventually. I mean, he wasn't very old, but he was old enough, right around the same age as Olivia. And it's hard to stop. So if you can get it done early at 5, do it. Locking the door is okay. I honestly have no problem with letting them kind of stir out there a little bit.
See, I have a problem with that. I don't agree with.
We're still there. You can literally say, "We're here. You're not abandoned. Go back to bed." Or you and your
But
spouse.
I also have really bad nightmares, I feel like.
Okay. But
So it's a little Renee problem.
The thing is that the parent in this matter that has the issue, I'm assuming it's the father because it's usually the father, is saying, "Hey, you don't care, I care, and it bothers me." And the other spouse is just simply saying, "You know what, whatever, forget it, don't lock the door, do nothing about it." And that's not the proper way to handle the situation, because one spouse is saying, "I have an issue with it." And you can't just ignore their feelings about it because they're very legitimate, and this does kind of hit a little bit home for us because we're struggling with it right now. And only one of us will even remotely get up and do anything about it. And it's definitely not a partnership when it comes to the sleep because she'll be fine. Well, here's the crazy thing, guys. She actually won't be fine. As a result of having the kid in bed with us, she tosses and she turns. She's uncomfortable and she doesn't sleep well. But we'll do absolutely nothing to stop it from happening.
Sometimes I don't even realize that she has come into our room.
Do you think that I've suddenly shrunk to the 3.5 foot tall?
No, I'm just asleep and I wake up and I'm like, whoa, how did this happen? When did
I have literally witnessed?
Do you remember the day she crawled around and was just like laying at the foot?
Because she ran from me. I attempted to pick her. So what I'll normally do, guys, is I normally don't go to bed late. I go to bed late, pretty late even, usually around midnight. And Renee normally goes to bed at like 7:30. No, normally 8, 9 o'clock. And Olivia will crawl in bed with her. And when they fall asleep, couple hours later, I'll come pick her up and put her in her bed. And that's been actually working, and she's been sleeping overnight a lot lately. One of the things that we've identified is that her room is not that comfortable to her anymore. Olivia does like to be kind of enclosed and I think the general size of the room is what bothers her. And then also kids with ADHD do tend to have sleep issues, either sleep apnea or insomnia. So maybe double check that too with your kid. I mean, obviously they're kind of young at 5, but that's something that you may want to consider in the future. But the thing is that by midnight when I go to bed, I pick her up and I put her in her bed and she'll sleep in there for a few hours. But And it's about a 50-50 roll of the dice whether or not she'll wake up a couple hours before or hours.
I feel like it's normally 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for right now, I can tolerate that because by 4 or 5 in the morning, I'm ready to get up anyhow.
Yeah.
And I know I go to bed at midnight and wake up at 4 or 5. I don't sleep, guys. But so it's a slow go, but you got to start, and it takes 2 parents. If there's 2 parents, right? If there's 2 people, you really gotta both tag team it. One person is not going to be able to do it. So if you have a dragon lady sleep princess like I do, you're going to have to find a way. A dragon lady sleep princess. That's what you are. You're going to have to compromise. And I'm saying this to you, Renee. You're going to have to compromise. We're going to have to find a way.
I'm sorry. I'm going through a tunnel. I can't hear you.
No, because
you've been cut off.
What's the alternative? What happens? I sleep on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
I will literally grab my CPAP machine and a pillow and a blanket and just sleep on the couch.
So on a completely related yet not related subject,
Oh,
though.
you're changing the subject now.
No, it's the same thing. So, but last night,
Uh-huh.
I wake up, I'm like, oh, all this room. Wait, there's something at the foot. What is on my foot? Ray.
The dog.
Ray. So the dogs haven't been in our bed. We cut them out of our bed, 5-6 months ago?
Yeah.
Because Claude, he was very adamant.
To get a divorce.
So the deal was, I'll let you redo our entire room, but the dogs can no longer be in the bed. So I got the dogs a really nice bed. They sleep right beside me on my side of the bed, on the floor, and they haven't been allowed in the bed. But for some reason, since we got back from vacation, I will wake up every once in a while and Ray is just, but she's at the very corner, so she's barely there.
Yeah. Well, she knows.
Anyways, so
Ray will literally get in the bed and try to make as little stir as she possibly can.
And take up the smallest
this one
room.
Here, the dog anus that's on camera right now, Shelby will literally try her best to wake you up.
Oh, she puts her head on your pillow.
She will wake. She will, hey, wake up. I need you to move. And it's always on my side of the bed because she thinks that she's somebody special.
But she's 12 and she's got some health issues going on, and she's at that I don't care stage of her life.
No, she doesn't care. But yeah,
I'm reaching that stage.
So if you're taking score, people, I have to deal with 2 awful dogs, a child, and Renee in the bed. And
the dogs aren't both in the bed. That was a one-off.
So yeah, like I said, so I really wish that I had a pull-out couch, which we don't. But our little sectional is comfortable enough, and I'll just sleep there. But what's ironic is that Renee goes, "Well, you don't sleep in the bed with me and cuddle me." I go, "Yeah, because I can't cuddle you. I have to contend with a child and 2 dogs."
They say we're gonna miss these times.
Who?
I don't know. People.
Who says we're gonna miss these times?
I don't know. People say that.
I would like the experience
of missing it.
I would like to. Can I please get to the point where I'm missing it? Because right now I'm in the thick of it, and I'm telling you right now, it don't look like I'm gonna miss it. Not even a little bit.
No, I want to be able to stretch in my bed.
When she's in her bed sleeping at night, we have. And I want to. You know what? Before we end and go on, I do want to address this because this is something that came up with the TikTok too. About we have a Ring camera in Olivia's bedroom, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and I'm glad that actually kind of came up naturally, so we can talk about it here. And some people were confused, a lot of
some were concerned.
Concerned, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things you guys have got to, if you're just joining before the kids wake up, one of the things that you guys should know about our show is that we started this show because one of the reasons we started was because, Olivia had been diagnosed with ADHD, or we hadn't actually diagnosed her yet, but we were having significant issues.
We were starting down that path.
One of them being her escaping from the house. And it happened a couple times through the front door, and
I feel like you have to clarify. It wasn't just she just walked out of the door. It wasn't locked. We had multiple locks, chain locks on the door, and she was still able to get up. Police were called because we couldn't find her for 30 minutes.
Right. And so, one of the last straws is that she actually went through her bedroom window. We talked about this on our first or second episode. We talked about this because that was when we identified, that Renee and I had some communication issues, right? Not to say that's the reason why Olivia did these things. I mean, like I said, we did eventually get we're not TikToks, guys. We literally spent money and got a psychoeducation evaluation with a professional. We had long conversations with her school administrator and her teachers. And pediatrician, and it literally has been a village when it comes to her diagnosis. So whenever we talk about ADHD and our child, we want you to know that we did everything that possible to get to this point. And one of the things that we didn't feel comfortable with her being alone in her bed, but we did not feel comfortable with her constantly sleeping in our bed. So one of the things that we had to do was there had to be some kind of monitoring, right? And the camera's not on anytime that she's dressing or anything like that. It's only on at night time so that we can know that there's nobody stirring. She's not stirring around in her bedroom and not trying to escape. Right, we get alerts and all those things. It's for our comfort, and as parents, and I know you all know, you have to do what you have to do in order to protect your children and make sure that they're safe. So, and if I'm being real, guys, it's the exact same thing as having a baby monitor.
Yeah.
She's not a teenager. She's still a little kid. Once her frontal lobe develops and she no longer has impulse control issues caused by the ADHD, we'll take the camera out. Right. Yeah. And it'll be super simple, but we appreciate your concern, but understand that it's not that big of a deal, and it's
for safety,
common. And it's for safety, and we've done everything we possibly can to not get to that point, but we have to ensure that she's safe and that she's in our home, and and that's unfortunately the way we control it, right? So appreciate your concern, guys, but it's okay, it's okay.
She's safe. We're safe.
Yes.
Everybody's okay.
Safe, right?
Yeah.
So yes. So did we give advice to the people? Yeah. I don't know. I think that.
I think this has been a lot of advice, right? I think clarify what somebody says to you, so you and don't assume that it's bad intent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay to lock your door.
It's okay to lock your door. But you gotta work together. You gotta work together on it. It can't be one parent. Renee, it cannot be one parent. And you know what? When we finally get together with that, we'll talk about it on the show and show our success, because I think we're both ready for it to not be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Co-sleeping is hard. Especially,
sucks.
Because my thing is that we can't do this when she goes to college. You know what I'm saying? We have to nip it in the bud at some point. And so, but anyhow. All right, guys. Again, we really do appreciate you following us on TikTok and liking and sharing it with all your friends and family. The video that we talked about in this episode is still there. There's another follow-up to it. Please go check it out. Follow us on TikTok.
You have to see my revenge.
You can also follow us at YouTube, Instagram, Facebook at Before the Kids Wake Up. And, guys, we appreciate everything that you have done for us and following us and just showing us some love. Well, that's it, right? I don't have anything else, right? All right, guys. So we appreciate you listening to us. Oh, if you don't want to watch us, you can always listen to us too. I'm sorry. We're on Spotify. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on iHeartRadio. Everywhere where you can stream a podcast, you can find Before the Kids Wake Up. We're just there waiting for you guys. All you gotta do is listen. Once again, I'm Claude,
and this is Renee,
and this has been Before the Kids Wake Up.
BD Protections.